I don't know what to do.
Oh, Roger, it's always something with you. What's up, everybody? Ty Rivera here, the absolute best LGBTQ comedian in the world. Okay, so our good buddy Roger is back going viral. For those of you who don't remember, this is Roger. He's got a little bit of a different look. I'm gonna use the he, him pronouns just because clearly he needs a win. Roger really needs somebody to respect his crazy, and I'm in a generous mood today. Also, sometimes you guys get mad at me for using people's proper pronouns, but there is a part of me that finds it obnoxiously sarcastic and condescending to address people the way that they want to be addressed when they can tell you really don't feel it. Because we can all be honest, Roger is a woman. Roger may not want to accept that. Roger may be on testosterone, but Roger is still a woman. So to me, giving him the he and him is just very condescending, and I love the feeling of it. Because people like this, and we're gonna get into the video in just a second. If you guys didn't see the other video I did about Roger, which his name isn't really Roger, it's Aslan or Aslan. I'm not sure how he pronounces it. He's Muslim. He's got a lot going on. I don't think he realizes if he were to actually go to a Muslim country, he would be asked to wrap his hair because they would be like, yeah, you're a woman. I don't care what you say about your transmasculine or whatever you're trying to say, because I don't know if he actually identifies as a man or if he's just one of the transgender people that identifies as transmasculine, which you're a woman on testosterone is what you're saying. But whatever. We're going to watch this just because I think people like Roger sometimes need a friend, and I'm willing to be that friend. And I'm not even being sarcastic when I say that. I think that sometimes breaking these things down, you can let people know where you think they're messing up. So let's get to it. Before we go any further, I'm just going to ask that you like, comment, and subscribe. If you want to leave a comment just to help me on the algorithm, but you don't know what to comment, just leave a knife, because somebody's definitely going to come for my neck on this one. They always do. Also, I've enabled channel memberships, trying to see how quickly I can get to 1,000 paid members on my page. If you guys get a chance, join. There is a link below. Now let's get into it.
They're kicking me out of my hotel room because I asked them to wear an N95 mask.
All right, Roger, we've been over this before. That's what the last video was about, was that he was trying to tell medical professionals that they needed to wear a mask to deal with him. And the thing you have to understand, Roger, is that we are not going back to 2020. That has passed. Dr. Fauci has said that masks are safest when the individual properly wears a mask. I personally don't care for Dr. Fauci. I don't know why he was in charge of anything, but Dr. Fauci is your leader. If you're one of the people that's still pushing that, so if even your leader is saying that the onus is on you if you need to wear a mask, then wear a mask and shut up about it. Why are you trying to force other people into doing something that they don't want to do? And you're living at a hotel, which we're gonna discuss, because at the end I'm gonna read what the caption was that Roger actually put on his social media.
And they said that if I wanted that, I was at the wrong hotel and I had an hour to leave.
Sounds like problem solved. Within an hour, you will no longer have to deal with these people and they will no longer have to deal with you. The thing is, Roger, I can tell you're the kind of person that grew up with nobody really telling you no. Your parents probably just let you do whatever you wanted, and now you're finding yourself in the real world where a lot of people don't want to put up with you. And you probably got to extend out your childhood by being quote unquote woke and being surrounded by people that affirmed every idea that you had, because that's the way the woke world works. And then there were those years where everybody felt like they had to bow down to the woke because they didn't want to get canceled. And now we're out of that. So now that we're out of that, you're kind of just stuck having to accept that people aren't just going to bend to your will.
I don't know where to go.
I've suggested this before to you, Roger, and I'm going to suggest it again. I would say that you should build a time machine and set it for about June of 2020. That should give you a good minute to collect yourself, and the whole world was wearing masks at that time. We had no choice. So do that. And in the meantime, stop bugging people and just quietly, with a mask on, work on your time machine.
I'm almost out of money. More scans just keep getting added to the docket. I don't even have one fully functioning arm at this point. Where do I... My mom isn't answering the phone. It's not like we were estranged. I literally... Because she was super abusive, but...
Okay, Roger. Things have gotten really bad if not even your mother wants to deal with you. Do you know how insufferable a person has to be in most cases for their mother to completely stop talking to them? And Roger claims here that she was super abusive, but I would just imagine that she probably got tired of dealing with the delusion and was like, look, Linda, Aurora, Tess, I don't remember what exactly Roger's name was. We'll talk about it at the end. I'll end up reading it. But your mother probably just finally put her foot down and was like, enough is enough. Because even a mother can only put up with so much. And then you got like, oh my God, this is abuse.
And I still want my mom, but I don't know what to do.
Stop being an asshole. That's what you should do, is just stop being an asshole. People are tired of you, Roger. Take this as a wake-up call that you need to stop being so insufferable. Nobody wants to put up with it anymore. Everybody's tired of you is the problem.
Where do I go? What do I do? My doctor just called me to do an anxiety and depression exam, thing before our appointment today. I had to reschedule it because I couldn't sleep.
Send him this video and just be like, let me know what comes back.
This is what I woke up to. And I'm like, what am I supposed to tell you? I'm super anxious and depressed. I haven't had safe housing for over a year. I just want a home. I just want somewhere safe to land.
And I don't really know how broke you can be if you're living in a hotel. And this, if you look at the background, doesn't look like some no-tell motel. It doesn't look like a Motel 6. I would say that this is probably like a Holiday Inn Suites. So what do you mean you're broke or you're almost out of money? I don't really know what you're talking about.
I just want a place to breathe so I can find a place. It feels like every time it's like the ground just gets ripped out from under me again. I just need to calibrate. What do I do?
Well, if the ground keeps getting ripped out from under you, it's probably because you keep self-sabotaging. I cannot stress this enough, Roger. People don't want to put up with you. I watch you through the screen and you get on my nerves. So if you can get on my nerves through a screen, I can just imagine what you're like in real life.
I can't get out orders. I haven't been able to work in months. I'm so sorry. I'm really trying, y'all. I'm trying so hard. I don't... And I have nobody here. I don't know what to do. I trust Allah. I just feel at a loss. I've never been so out of answers. Except for, I guess, when I was younger, but those answers were really destructive to my well-being.
And you think this is good for your well-being? I'm gonna need you to focus, Roger.
I've been sober since November. I'm not breaking that. It's also against my religion, which honestly really helps.
Do you notice how he clears up with the crying when he starts getting self-righteous again? I've been sober as part of my religion. Roger, once again, I'm gonna ask you to focus. You've gotta be out of this hotel. Now let's focus.
I still don't have my ADHD medication.
Okay, my bad. Maybe focus isn't on the table.
I'm so tired. I'm so hungry. I just wish I could have a hug. I just really need to be held.
Again, Roger, how miserable are you that you can't get a hug? Look at my personality, Roger. I can tell you, I could get several hugs right now. Right at this moment. I could leave, I could go somewhere, a bunch of people would hug me, I'd say hi, I'd blow air kisses, and look at my obnoxious personality. This is what I'm like in real life. So, if I can get a hug, you should be able to get a hug. If you can't get a hug, you've really screwed this up, Roger.
And I feel so bad for my cats, my poor cats.
I feel bad for your cats too.
I don't know where to go. I'm in Asheville, North Carolina.
Well, that's part of your problem right there, is I know Asheville can be very liberal in certain ways, but you're still in North Carolina, just like I'm in Austin, Texas. The key part of that is Texas. The key part for you is North Carolina. People in states like these don't put up with a lot of stupidity. So when you're trying to make problems about something nobody considers a problem, they're going to look at you like you're crazy. Maybe try moving to Portland or Seattle. That might be more your speed, and they may be more willing to bend to your crazy. Although I think nationwide, this is going to stop being a thing. I think people are going to stop humoring people like this altogether because it's just a destructive path. When you have these people that do not want to function in society, they instead want to take over society and decide how we're all going to live. There's no way that there's not going to be a breaking point with the majority where it gets like, okay, we're done with you altogether.
I don't know. I don't know where to go. We will make it through. Whatever that means, whatever that brings. I just have to trust that I'm being protected. But also, hotels breaking literal Americans with Disabilities Act. Discrimination against disabled people.
Okay, Roger. If this was really a case of discrimination and a violation of the Americans with Disabilities Act, I am sure that you would be the kind of Karen to hire a lawyer and make sure that you got taken care of. Not only financially, but you would also have them bending to your will. So stop with this is a violation and discrimination. No, it's not. It's a person finally being told no that should have been told no years ago. And to tell you the truth, I do blame your parents. Whether it's your mother, your grandmother, whoever it was that raised you, didn't do a good job of it and should have told you no more often, and you wouldn't be dealing with this now. You wouldn't be taking this so hard. Look at you. You're a mess. Everybody is tired of you, Roger. Nobody is going to continue to humor you for the rest of your life. That's what you have to understand, is you are an adult now and nobody wants to put up with your behavior.
And misinformation about COVID.
You're still...
And all of you who are not taking COVID precautions because we are suffering for it while y'all are pretending like it's over.
Who is we exactly? And you even saying this is COVID misinformation. I see every once in a while somebody gets COVID, but I don't know a big group of people, and I don't even see a big group of people online that are talking about precautions or pushing this kind of stuff. So when you're making it sound like it's some kind of cause that a lot of people are pushing or having to deal with, it's really not. I don't even know what you're talking about right now.
Or like it never existed.
We all know it existed, Roger, but it's like the flu. We don't take special precautions for the flu, so we're not going to take special precautions when it comes to COVID either. We're just not. That has passed. Get it through your thick head. We're not going back.
It's my body, and you're making the choice for me.
Roger, put on your damn mask and shut up. We're not making any choices for you. You're trying to make choices for us by insisting that people wear masks when we're not having a problem. That's not us making a choice for you. That's us telling you that you're not going to make a choice for us.
I just want to home.
Well, it sounds like you better get to work. If you want a home, it sounds like you better actually get to work and stop with the excuses. This is why I can't work. That's why I can't work. Just figure it out. Make some money, whether it's online. You have a big following. Recently, he set his TikTok to private because I think he got tired of people dunking on him because people are just done with him. It's like that kind of personality. Once TikTok is gone, you'll never hear from this person again. So here is the caption that he included with that. And you guys can see how miserable of a person he is to deal with and why it is people are probably tired of him. Aslan Bird is what his name technically is, or what he goes by. I literally said I'd buy them for staff, and it was only a request for when they come into my room. The maintenance man refused and said that he would force himself into my room with 2 other very large male employees if I refused. I barred the door and called in panic to the front desk, scared. In response, the GM told me she would call the police if I wasn't out in an hour. Yeah, that's what happens, Roger. When you're staying in a hotel room and you decide that you're gonna lock yourself in the room and not allow anybody in, they will call the police and they will get you out of there. So either go with the program or buy a house, which I physically couldn't do. Not anybody else's problem. Call a friend, call some movers. Shouldn't be living in a hotel anyway. It's a bad sign. Thankfully, the angel of an assistant manager convinced her to not to, as long as I am actively moving out. I'm collecting the cats right now, and then we are driving off. But what we do next, I really have no idea. All I can do is surrender to what God has planned. You mean Allah for me, even if I feel lost about what that even is at this point. Yeah, stop trying to be deep and just get to packing, Roger. It's time for you to leave. So Andy No had posted about this on Twitter as well, but I saw it all over the place. But this is the backstory. A video is going viral of a neurotic woman on cross-sex hormones having a breakdown over not being able to enforce masking rules on others. But what's the story behind the story? The woman's real name is Tess Aurora Gantz. She goes by the alias Aslan and is living in Asheville, North Carolina. She's a self-identified disabled trans Muslim person. I still want to know what the disability is because she didn't say it on the last video and she doesn't say it on this one, and I'm not sure. She says her arms aren't working, but she doesn't say why. I don't even trust anything about this person, but let's keep going. She was involved in the 2020 BLM Antifa insurrection where she was arrested. Since then, she styled herself as a social media influencer for radical leftist, Palestinian, and trans causes. Well, go live that life, Roger. The rest of us aren't going to join you.
Ableism is a key component to genocide, and COVID-19 has been used as a tool for genocide against disabled people and immunocompromised people in the so-called United States. And everybody who is suggesting that I be put in a psych ward for having a panic attack about the fact that hotel staff would not follow ADA laws.
I checked ADA laws and I didn't see anything about masks in 2024. I saw when they were talking about that in 2020, and I think I even saw something that was 2021, but it was more in reference to people that had certain disabilities not wanting to wear masks or saying that they weren't able to wear masks and trying to find ways around that, and ADA was answering. So I don't know where you keep saying this, but if that was really happening, then why don't you sue the hell out of this hotel? Why are you talking about it online instead of talking to a lawyer?
And put on a mask, an N95 mask, for a severely immunocompromised individual who is high risk to the 3rd degree is literally proving my point.
Then you shouldn't be in a hotel. You should be in a bubble if it's that bad.
And actually, there was somebody who was put on a psych hold that went into the ER for a migraine, and the doctor put her on a psych hold because he said that she was clearly hysterical if she wanted doctors to wear a mask around her because she was also severely immunocompromised.
It's true. When you're trying to tell medical professionals what they need to do in a medical setting, you're probably experiencing some sort of hysterics.
Like, the misinformation about COVID has gotten so bad that that cancer centers that pre-COVID did require masking because cancer patients are severely immunocompromised individuals are no longer requiring masking.
So are you thinking that cancer centers aren't doing their research and that you're more educated on this than actual cancer centers? Because maybe that's why people keep saying you're crazy. Because you keep trying to present yourself as some sort of expert on all this stuff. But what is your degree? Have you just been studying online, reading a bunch of articles that feed into and confirm what it is that you're looking for? Because I don't know anybody that is talking about masks like you are. Not a single person. And I do know a lot of people, especially when you consider my own online networks. But I don't know a single person that is pushing this, except for you. You're the only person that I ever see pushing this. I would say at this point, you're COVID misinformation.
The management at the hotel Literally, I said, you're breaking ADA laws, and I was recording myself as this was happening. And she said, well, if you record me and put it online, then you're breaking a law, so we're even.
That's how confident she was in knowing that what she was doing was right, was she didn't care about your threat. And that's what really bothers you. Take out your phone, record it, send it to your network. They're all tired of you too. The only reason people share your stuff at this point is so that we can all laugh at you. And I hate to say that, but it's 100% true. You're just looking worse and worse every time you give one of these nobody cares complaints. You're a true Karen.
I grabbed my phone to start recording because she was in real time manipulating what I was saying and using the straw man fallacy to manipulate the conversation. And I said, I need to go grab my phone to record what's happening because you are literally lying and using logical fallacies to manipulate what's happening. And she said, no, that's what you people always do. Y'all do not understand just how deeply set ableism is. And also, by the way, just because an autistic person has a panic attack or a meltdown does not mean that we should be put in a psych ward. Also, people keep saying that I should be in a psych ward because I'm trans, because I'm Muslim, because I exist in a liberatory space. Like, ableism is the first grab. And by the way, the fascism that we're experiencing in the so-called United States, it's built on a foundation of the Reagan era. And if y'all need a fucking reminder of what happened in the Reagan era, we had a mass execution of queer people.
No, we didn't. No, we didn't. It actually was gay men specifically. Queer wasn't a thing like that. Most of us saw queer as an insult. It was specifically gay men. I cannot stress this enough, Roger. It was specifically gay men that were affected by that. And gay men were partners in their own demise because even after they knew that the gay cancer, or GRID, as some people were calling it at the time, gay-related immunodeficiency syndrome, because it was technically GRIDS, but gay men did not stop with the casual sex. And so in a lot of cases, we were responsible for our own demise. And yeah, Ronald Reagan was not helpful at all. But during that time, that's what we were going through as a country as far as being gay. And that's part of the reason that we fought the way we did to get respected and get rights. And people like you are rolling those back because of your ridiculous behavior, and you're going to make it so nobody listens to any of us. So let's be very clear. That wasn't a queer situation. That was a gay situation.
We literally lost an entire generation of queer people.
Stop saying queer people. It was gay men.
To the HIV/AIDS epidemic, and Reagan literally said that he believed that it was brought from God to rid the earth of us.
Stop including yourself. You're not part of us. Even that is you trying to include yourself in something to be a victim. You are a woman. Whether you want to accept it or not, you are a woman on testosterone.
Like, and people have said the same thing about COVID. Oh, well, this is just natural selection. This is just God getting rid of all the deplorables or despicables or whatever. Like,
nobody's saying that, but if you're weak enough that you can't handle air at this point,
y'all need to really, oh God, recognize just how much ableism is the foundation of what we're seeing right now. We have lost millions of people just in the so-called United States to COVID.
I don't think that's correct. I don't think we've lost millions. It was over 200,000 at the height. And since then, I believe the deaths have tapered off. So I don't think we're in the millions just in this country alone. Not to mention a large part of those 200,000 were over the age of life expectancy anyway. So not to be insensitive, but they were on borrowed time already. Also, there was a point where they weren't reporting comorbidities and they were marking it as attributable to the pandemic. So I'm not really sure where you're getting this number from. You seem like a fountain of inaccuracies.
We are seeing mass disabling events in Palestine. And the apathy that people are showing.
But you're good enough to at least talk about it. So why don't you go over to Gaza and see how that works out for you? Because I'm tired of listening to people like you give yourselves credit and pretend that you're really doing something because you talk about it.
Is very much based in what we have been shown in the last 4 years. This has just been a continuous moving the line, moving the Overton window of what you will accept. It started with mass disabling event of COVID and mass deaths from COVID, apathy of disabled people, and then it goes right into the attack on trans people in the so-called United States. There's a reason why we have now been brought up to level 8 of genocide for trans people, that we literally heard people last March cheering when told that they need to eradicate transgenderism from the public life entirely.
Because obnoxious people like you have made people think that they don't like trans people, so that's why they cheer for that. And it was public life. It wasn't talking about an actual eradication. And at this point, a lot of us agree, because we don't want to live under trans rule. People like you that claim to be trans have made us realize that this is not the way to go. Could you imagine if we all really were doing what you wanted? We would be miserable. Yeah, you'd be happy, and a very small group of your friends would be happy too. But for the most part, society would be miserable.
And we saw the rise of attacks on trans people and trans kids. We have trans kids being beaten in their high school bathrooms.
Okay, that was Nexus, and technically she admitted herself that she started that. She admitted that she initiated that by throwing water on one of the other girls.
Next, Benedict was able to tell the Owasso police officer their account of what happened in the school bathroom that landed them in the hospital.
They were talking about us in front of us. And so I went up there and I poured water on them. Okay. And then all 3 of them came at me. They came at me, they grabbed onto my hair, I grabbed onto them. I threw one of them into a paper towel dispenser, and then they got my legs out from under me and got me on the ground and started beating the at me.
Okay. And I've been in that situation myself. I can talk about this just really quick. But one time there was this guy that I didn't like, and I knew that him and his friend were gonna jump me in that bathroom if I did anything physical. We would have been fine if I hadn't done anything physical, but I really didn't like him. So we were waiting in line in a bathroom at this gay club. And like I said, I knew they were gonna jump me if I did anything physical to the one that I didn't like. But I decided it was worth it. So I went ahead and waited till his friend was going pee in the urinal, and then I just socked him. And then his friend like hurried up and zipped up his pants and stuff like that while I was in the midst of socking the one. Then they jumped me just like I knew they would. But luckily the door to the bathroom opened out. So what I did was I fell into the door so that I would fall out of the bathroom, and then I just spilled out into the actual club. And people were like, what's going on in there? And then it looked like I was just being attacked when really I had started it. But that was the same with Nexus. She had started that, and that's when she ended up getting beat up. And they say that she had unalived herself. That was the official cause for her actual demise. So when you say that she was attacked, that again is misinformation. You're full of misinformation, Roger.
We have trans kids being dismembered, and nobody is saying a word.
We also have trans kids unaliving their parents, and people aren't talking about that either. So maybe people on both sides aren't talking about these things because they don't serve their purposes, Roger.
Ableism is the first frontier, and it's the last thing y'all are willing to unwind in yourselves, especially white, cishet people who grew up with generational wealth.
I get the feeling you're one of those people, except for you don't identify as cishet. For anybody that's not familiar, cisgender, heterosexual. But I really do get the feeling Roger comes from actual money, and that's why she behaves this way.
And are more interested in being seen as a savior than people actually being taken care of.
Sounds like a little bit of projection, Roger, because it doesn't sound like you're actually working on any of what you're talking about. You just talk about it online and you think that makes you an activist.
If you're fighting for liberation, mask up. Vaccinate up. Mutual aid it up. Also, just a note that the medical industry, Western medicine, is literally founded on racism.
You mean the same Western medicine that told us to wear a mask?
And white supremacy.
You're white, Roger. You're white.
And the fact that people are very, very excited to tell me to go to the psych ward because I don't want to die from COVID. Like, also, you're telling an autistic person to go into a situation where they are in the most danger. Like, some of my biggest traumas are actually from medical trauma as an autistic person. My trauma as a kid comes from being an autistic person and the ableism that I faced. And people literally trying to beat the autism out of me. And telling me that since I'm so smart, because I am in the 98th percentile of IQ, even though that is fucking bullshit, but just, you know, for y'all colonial fucking bullshit's reference point, I couldn't study my way out of autism. I couldn't study my way out of being disabled. And me having a meltdown doesn't mean that I should be locked up. The fact, like, y'all's obsession with locking people up is so colonial, is so violent, is so messed up. Y'all's obsession with being individualistic and pretending that masking is about autonomy are so fucking colonial, y'all.
Is this meant to get through to us? Because I don't feel like that's going to change a single mind. It's so colonial, y'all.
Liberation means fighting for everybody, especially protecting the most vulnerable. And the glee that people are getting at the harm that disabled people are facing is atrocious. None of us are free until all of us are free. And COVID is fucking real, and it's not over. And it's not going to even move past all these giant waves and this mass death without everybody doing what they need to do, which means masking, taking precautions, and vaccinations. It's really not that hard, y'all. Liberation means every action. Liberation means follow through. Liberation means don't bully disabled people. Also, it's fucking Disability Pride Month because the ADA got passed during July. And y'all are obsessing over bullying a disabled person. My video sobbing about being kicked out of my hotel for asking the staff to wear an N95 mask is going viral on the wrong side of TikTok because the wrong side of TikTok loves to harass me, apparently. And y'all are just proving everything. We're not going to get to liberation through individualism. We have to be a community. That's the only way.
I don't think we're all going for your type of liberation. To be 100% honest, as a collective, I don't think that's a lot of our goals. I don't think a lot of us are thinking about it that way, nor do I think we're going to. So I think a big part of the problem is that you have this idea of the way that you think things are going to turn out or supposed to turn out, or we're all supposed to be headed towards this goal, but the rest of us are like, yeah, we're not going there. You continue to do that if you want to do it, but that doesn't mean we're going to. So it's my honest assessment that this person really does have an idea of what he thinks we're all supposed to be going for and where we're all supposed to be headed, and the rest of us are like, yeah, that's not where we're going for and that's not where we're headed. So he's upset because his little power trip isn't successful and isn't going to be successful. That is my true assessment of this particular person. He has since set his social media to private because I think he got tired of people making fun of him. I think that's a really good move for everybody involved. Hopefully TikTok does shut down and people like this will no longer have a platform, because even though I wouldn't ask the government to do it, I really do believe in freedom of speech. I wouldn't ask social media to do it. At the same time, if TikTok were to shut down, I do think that a lot of this crazy behavior would realize that outside of that app, there really isn't a platform for what it is they're pushing. Anyway, let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. As always, this has been Ty Rivera, the absolute best LGBTQ comedian in the world.
They bought into his bullshit.